Thank you for watching. Your support means the world to me. Please consider supporting the channel at no cost by liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing. Let's go check in on the studio build out and see how that's coming along. What's up with the studio anyways? I've got the wheel right there set up. I found this shelf that it was not being used, and I put some boards on there, and let me get you a little bit closer. We'll talk about that. All right. So this will be my drying shelf, and down on the lower two shelves, I will use that for storage. And then my wheel is set up to start making some pieces today. And we'll get in a little bit closer with that. All right, so I got some basic tools set up here, like some sponges. I got a bucket. It's a little big, but it'll work for now. And then I've got some clay tools right here. Some of the ribs I'm going to need. I've also got a plastic rib and a metal rib. And then this is something else that came with the kiln. This is a another type of rib that has 3 different types of edges on it. So I think that'll be fun to play around too and see what kind of designs we can make. Some other basic tools like the needle tool here. You can tell it's been used before. And the wire tool. And a few different wooden tools there. Alright, so the bats came in right here. And they came with bat pens, but I covered this in the video yesterday. This wheel came with pre-installed bat pens, so they're already here and here. I got some chamois cloths. And then finally down below here, that is going to be for another project for a wedging table, okay? So that's a cloth that's going to go on the wedging table. For today, I've just put this board on top of the kiln. It's an old piece of countertop. It kind of just fit perfectly for my use. And I'll wedge on this today. It might stick to it. If it does, we'll manage and go from there. But anyways, I am going to start setting up to make some pieces. I think I'm going to start off today just centering on the wheel. So I look forward to sharing that with you. We begin the process here by placing the bag of clay on the table in preparation for cutting a piece off to begin wedging. Using the wire tool, I'll cut a slab of clay off from the block of clay, and this will be wedged into a cone shape. I'm pulling fairly even, but it doesn't have to be a perfect thickness for this particular application. Here I begin wedging the clay. I've sped this section up in the interest of time, but I wanted you to get an idea for how you can wedge the clay. You kind of hold it like a ram's head, so you'll see that the clay is kind of folding and pointing towards me, and I'm rotating the clay as I'm wedging it. And so the idea is to kind of create a spiral, but to wedge the clay in such a way that it's kind of worked together. You're working all the air pockets out of it because you don't want any voids or gaps or anything like that. It'll create cracking, or when you're working with it on the wheel, you'll have these empty voids, and you do not want that. And at the end of the wedging, you either want a cone shape or a more spherical shape. It's up to you, whatever easier for you to work with when you place it on the wheel. All right, so I just got the new pottery wheel. yesterday and set this all up. And now I'm going to put a bat on here and start making my first piece on this. This is the first time I'm making something at home. Like I said, I've had a couple pottery courses in the past, but it's been at least 2 years ago. So we're going to see how the centering goes, and this will probably be, yeah, my first time using a bat. So that'll be fun too. So these are the bats. These are the bats I got on Amazon. They actually come with bat pens. So if you want, you can make a comment if you want to know where I got these from. But with my wheel, I didn't need any bat pen. So we'll just take one of these bats out. These holes should be pretty standard. So hopefully everything lines up and fits. And I believe it will. And it does. You can kind of see there's a little oval shaped hole here to make sure it aligns. It's pretty easy to get on and off the wheel. And then there we go. It looks pretty good. Pretty smooth. There we go. Let's find the center here. I've got my bucket there at the over here. It's kind of a larger bucket, but I only filled it with some water. I don't want a whole lot of water, simply because you fill up the clay reuse system with extra water, and it's just an unnecessary step to get rid of all the water. So I try to use as little as possible. But as far as working with the clay, you just use what you need as far as water goes. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to find about where the middle is. So it's about there. And it's a little far reach for me for the water bucket. So for now, I'm going to put it down, maybe up on the shelf. Okay. Now that is spinning the right way. It's spinning into this hand. I'm just going to kind of hold that one place. Get a little more water. Yeah, when you get water under the clay, it's going to tend to spin off. So, I'll use my big sponge here. Dry it off a little. I'll kind of shape this clay more into a ball. This is kind of soft clay. It doesn't seem like it has a lot of grog in it, so something new. I usually work with clay with grog in it. I don't feel any in this, really. It's not porcelain, though. It's some sort of stoneware clay. I don't remember exactly what kind of clay it is. So, what I'm trying to do, keep sliding off. Nice. So, there we go. This takes me a minute to get back accustomed to it. I could have started with a smaller piece of clay too, but I'm going all in. Now you'll see I need to get a little closer to the wheel. Get this, I'm right-handed, so my right hand elbow in my waist. So that hand doesn't move with the clay. You're not letting the clay control your hand, you're controlling the clay. So we're getting closer to center, but not quite there yet. It's all right. And now we'll just throw that extra piece in the splash pan. And that's probably happening, I don't know why, maybe just because. Too much water, too dry, who knows. Ah! Yeah. That's right. What do you think, Toby? Toby thinks I'm crazy. That's what he thinks. I'm way off balance. Ah! Alright, no problem. Start again. It can take several attempts to center if you haven't done it for a while or you haven't done it at all. A little better, not perfect, a little better. Ah, keeps coming off. Yeah, I noticed a little hole right here. So you really don't necessarily want that. I'm going to try to do this with this. Yeah. So I'm kind of pushing down, making a hollow in the middle. That's also by pushing down. You can do this too. And it's going to cause that clay to expand towards the other hand that's trying to hold in place. Doesn't always work. This dries out very quickly. So I'm gonna have to feel like I'm fighting this clay. I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to overwork it either. Getting closer. Just putting a little more pressure in with my dominant hand, my right hand in my case, and downward pressure. So I'm waiting, trying to get that wobble out of it. See? Much better now. Much better now. You can kind of see it's not shaking my hand as much. Going to create a lot of slip. This is all slip. That's okay. Just kind of be patient with yourself with this process. It takes a while. Figure out the exact method of the madness. But there is a method to the madness. Right, Toby?
Right, Michael.
See, I got it out of balance now. So, it's all right. We're going to cone it up. And we don't want to create an air pocket, right? So, just going to... that's called volcanoing, by the way. So far, these are not sticking that well to the back. It can be a lot of factors, especially the learning curve. I'm the factor. Now, I want it to spin into my hand now. So we're just going to get the volcano going. Have a flat top again for the most part. Then I'm going to oops. Okay, I'm just trying to get the cone up. A little bit of the volcanoing going there. That's all right. I'm feeling that expand outward as I push down. So it's kind of what I want. Let's try quickly. Oops. Dug in with my pinky. All right. too fast. Medium speed's probably good for this. This is a journey channel, not an educational channel, so that's kind of both. I have to get closer. Ah, a little better. You can kind of feel how much it's fighting you. It shouldn't be fighting you if it's centered. Okay, this is kind of drifting. Looks like I'm baking bread. Now I'm just going to let it spin. Okay, right. Still got a little imbalance there. I'm quite ready to cone up yet. Oh, man, maybe I need to move closer. A little. Right. Any pro tips, put them in the comments.
Ow.
My pinky always gets in the way. We'll start coning up with this now. Keep turning back down. There we go. That's pretty good. A slight wobble with that, but not bad. Little sponge here. We just wet everything down a little. Oops. Ah. Watch your fingers, though. It's better to snap the wheel. There we go. I think pedal position is important, too. All right. Sponge seems to help. Helps keep the moisture in there a little bit better. Get a good grip on it. Ah. All right, I'm going too far. Oh, wow, I just made a mess. Hope it didn't hit the camera. Don't think it did. Okay. That's pretty good. It's going to be pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and make a cylinder. I'm going to get my sponge wet here. I'm just going to push in the middle. This one finger, I'd find that middle spot. Okay. Just push down and begin pulling. Quite satisfying, by the way. I'll maintain some pressure here so I don't get off center. Okay. Put a little dryness in there, just put a little water in there. A lot of water. Get some of that back out. Just straightening up my walls so they're not so wobbly. Good. And go down further and open that pot up more. Like this. That sponge right in there if you want. You can use a sponge. Spiral thing going on there. Alright. Smooth that out for now. It's not time to put a spiral on the bottom yet. Like this hand over here, that's keep it on center. Keep getting off center just a little. I tend to make thick bottoms. You don't necessarily want to do that. Or at least if you do, you want your walls to be the same thickness about. I don't want to begin pulling my walls up yet. But it is kind of what's happening right now, so. But my goal here is to open up the container cylinder. Put a little bit more water, slip inside. There we go. Get in here with a rib tool, maybe a plastic rib tool. You want to compress the bottom when you get it to the right thickness. Slinging water everywhere. Yeah, that's good. Finding that. Finding that center again. It's already looking like a nice little pot. As these walls get thinner, you want to make sure um, that as the walls get thinner, you go a little slower in your speed and be extra careful because it's gonna get more and more unstable, or at least more delicate to work with. That bottom, if I was to see how thick that bottom is, clean that tool. So put your fingers at the tip and put it on the bottom of the clay. And push through and pick up. I'm pretty thin. I'm about as thin as I want to be. Pull some of that water out. Just going to compress that bottom. And my sides, I don't know how much of this you can see, hopefully good. But the sides, the bottom sides, you know, you got to make sure the thickness is good. So you're trying to make the bottom an even thickness. I'm going to focus a little bit on what I'm doing because I haven't done this for a while, and I'm going to start pulling up a little bit. Not too much. I just want to get an idea for what my container is going to look like. A little effect there. cute little flower pot so far. I don't know that that's what it's going to be, but would make a good one. A lot of water in there. Do another full. There we go. Get it a little wider. Okay. I think my first thing here is going to be a bowl anyways. Oh, I feel like it's getting thin. Let's pull some of that water out. See what the bowl looks like so far. Pushing down on the bottom with a sponge to compress that bottom and to smooth it out. Want to overwork the bowl. Cross my fingers so that these kind of are connected so they don't move independently of each other. It will dry. Looks like it's going to turn out to be a nice bowl. It does have a little wobble. I think that's going to be just fine for the first bowl. A nice little tool, but you got to be careful with this one. Sorry for the noise. Get that. Or for the chorus, basically. That'll be a nice little, what I think. We'll trim that foot into the bowl later if there's enough room. If not, it'll just be a nice bottom to the bowl. I did pretty good on the rim. Whoops, we got a little bit of a wobble to fix here now. Too much of a wobble, I think. Don't overdo it on the first piece you make. Go on a sponge. Alright, I got a bunch more where that one came from. Get the slip on it. I like the slip on the sponge anyways. That's pretty good. I don't want to get these bowl walls too thin. I think I'm pretty happy. It's a little thicker walled than I want. I'm going to try to thin it out without overworking it. Kind of cute. All right, and then metal ribs are okay. The wooden ribs, plastic ribs, they all do different. They have different feel to them. I'm gonna put my hands. There we go. Get some of that water out. Get the clay too wet, it'll be overworked. What I'm going to do here, try to get fancy with this a little bit. It's dangerous to do that, your first piece you're making. I'm going to try to flare this out. It's a good start. Sometimes you need a rib to do this. It's pretty good. Those spirals will catch. Like, that's a perfect spiral. I don't know if you can see the bottom. Oh, hi, Toby. Is that my Toby? He's a good boy. It's all right. Check that out. All right, this bowl is pretty much going to be ready. Okay. All right, I'll take that spatula. Perfect. Gotta get the water out now. Right. Just slip off my hands. It helps to have a sponge with one of these scrubby sides on one side. That's probably a grout sponge, but it works. Yeah, not too bad. Now we're just going to set this to the side. The advantages of having a bat. Oh yes, that's a fine looking bowl. And when this dries a bit, we will take it off the bat. We'll begin trimming after we take it off the bat. Well, until next time, I'll see you at the next video.